welcome. Hello, everyone. We're a small and perfectly formed group today for Tech Jumpstart. Thank you for coming along. Would you like to come over this? I feel like you're a little bit isolated over there. So today's, I think some of you have been to Tech Jumpstart before. We're a slightly different format today. We're going to be making a website in an hour. It's been very exciting. And we're going to making is the wrong word. So the focus is going to be on thinking about really product and thinking about when you design a product, either as a coder and a developer or as someone who is in the business side of it or someone who's in the product side of it. How do you think about a product and its functionality, what you're going to make, who you're going to sell it to, and so on. And we'll give you a bit more information about that to come. So before I go any further, I'll just introduce our lovely panel here, Ali, Pete, and Chloe, and I'll get them to introduce themselves in a moment. Before I get onto that, Cameron, are you going to do your bit, Silicon Brighton bit?
Yeah, I figure I may as well do it here rather than stand in front of the panel. Sweet. Dan's got my face on the stream. Dan's got my clicker. I'm very comfortable. Hello, everyone. My name's Cameron. I work for Silicon Brighton. There, that's really intense, actually. But just going to pop my slides up as well. There we go. But yes, I work for Silicon Brighton in the events and community engagement role. And we are a meetup collective, a digital tech hub all across Brighton and Hove, pairing people together and running meetups just like this for loads of different meetup groups and pairing people up with the right opportunities that they can find themselves in. We've got a flagship event coming up, which is our Evolve 25 conference. As it says on the tin, it's going to be an extraordinary day of tech, innovation, and community. And yeah, we're piecing it together currently, looking at how Tech Jumpstart specifically can also be involved. It's looking really promising and it's looking great. We're really keen to get everyone in the community down on the day. We've got opportunities to attend, exhibit, sponsor, and we'll also be looking at volunteer opportunities as well. There's a student discount. I think we're still doing early bird tickets, so you can get in early. Go for the next slide, please, Dan. Oh, and speaking of the meetups that we support, these are all of the other meetups. I feel we've got a few members of Ladies at UX in tonight as well. Recognize the faces. So it's a really nice cross-collaborative community that we run. Everyone comes in, helps each other out, and it's just awesome to see. So we're really grateful that everyone comes and does that. And we want to say thank you to all of our supporters. Yes, please, Dan. And a specific shout out to our sponsors too, who specifically continuously fund what we do as well. They're brilliant. They've bought all of the camera equipment for us. They pay for my time as well. So we just really appreciate them. Next slide. And yeah, huge thanks to Plus Accounting as well. And again. And yeah, you can stay up to date with all of our activity following this QR code. We've got our meetup.com, which has a lot of umbrella for all of our other meetups, as well as our Slack channel, which is great because it just allows the community to talk to each other afterwards. Let's say, I don't know if we'll run into like Q&As this evening, but we do a lot of Q&As in our meetup community. Or maybe during the roundtables, you don't get to ask the question you want to ask to a specific panelist. You can jump on the Slack community there and do it then. And I believe that is all I have to say. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Cameron. Also, tonight is the first time Tech Jumpstart has been sponsored, which is very good. Our sponsors are Dab Apps, who have funded all the drinks that are over there. So you can thank Chloe and Dab Apps for the drinks. Chloe, did you want to say anything about Dab Apps and sort of what you do as our sponsor?
So Dab Apps is a software agency based here in Brighton. We've been going for almost 15 years. We make web and mobile apps and a real range from large enterprise web apps down to smaller charity mobile apps. So real range of industries, apps from dental compliance, the arts sector, workplace psychology, healthcare, a real range. Yeah, we're especially known for APIs, and one of our founding members co-created the Django REST framework, which we're also known for.
Finally, last little bit of promo. Pete and I run a number of boot camps, and I lead an organization called Tech Native Digital. We do all sorts of things around skills, and obviously Tech Jumpstart's part of that. And one of the things that we're doing at the moment is called Tech Finishing School, which is for computer science graduates or tech graduates who have learned how to code but now struggling to get work. And we're doing that final bit of like, how do you actually get work ready? How do you find the job? How do you turn up at interviews? How do you work in a team to deliver products and so on? And there's some really tiny words down there, which is those things that I'm just saying, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and all those kind of things that you might learn at college, and we continue that, looking at a more advanced level with it. The next one's starting in May, potentially could be funded, maybe. So yeah, have a look at that QR code, or look at our website, technativedigital.com, if you want to find out more, or talk to me. So back to the business at hand. So as happens here, we just spend a short time up here with the panel, just finding out a little bit about them, and then we're going to get you guys to do some work. And it's all about kind of thinking and working collaboratively and going through a process. So we'll tell you all about it in a minute. So if it's you guys, it'd be great to hear about your role, and just thinking about what we're going to do tonight, just a little bit about maybe what we should be thinking about, or what you would be thinking about when starting off at the very start of the creative process, making a product. Ali.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Ali Jarvis. I'm one of the product directors at Certain. We're a Canadian headquartered tech company that works around background checks and credentials. Oh, sorry. So yeah, we've got a B2B product, so somebody running their own criminal checks on themselves in Canada, and then we work largely with employers who want to run background checks on people that they're bringing into the business. So I work with a team of product managers, and we collaborate with our clients, our stakeholders, to figure out what it is that we actually want our product to do. So what checks do we need to run? How do we want it to operate from the client perspective, from the applicant perspective, and then the internal tooling that we need to make it all happen and integrate with data providers and everything else. So in terms of the topic at hand, the things that I would be thinking about are, what is the problem I'm trying to solve? Why is it important? And who am I solving it for? And those would be the things that I would zone in on to try and then narrow my focus to actually figure out what it is that I want to build. Because as in my work, the wish list is always longer than you have time to do, or you have the people to do, and you could do anything, but you've got to focus and you've got to start somewhere. So having a really good answer to the question why is going to help shape everything else that you need to do.
Great. Hi, I'm Pete. I'm a developer. I've been a developer for about 20 years. And I also help train developers, as Dan was just saying, with things like the Tech Finishing School. So my typical day-to-day is sitting with headphones on, writing code. But actually, as we were saying, a few of us, we were chatting beforehand, and the longer that you've worked in the industry, the less you actually spend the time sitting and writing code, and the more you spend time either in meetings or helping others learn how to write code. So I spend a lot of time doing that. And yeah, in answer to the question of what I'll be thinking about, I think it'll be quite complementary to what Ali was just saying, because I always obviously approach things from a technical perspective. So thinking quite logically about the proposals we're making and the time it might take to create something like that, how complex it is, and trying to focus on the real important things so that you can actually build something feasible and test if it actually works or not.
Hello, I'm also Pete. I've got a software development background. I used to work with other Pete here. More recently, I've been CTO at multiple startups, so Chief Technology Officer, where I grew the products and engineering teams from scratch. These days, I do more consultancy work, which is much more relaxed. Early stage startup stuff can be a little bit stressful, if I'm honest. So I'm still working with some early stage startups, but I also do tech due diligence on investment deals. And this is where I'm going in. I'm looking at the product, a company who want investment, the product they built, I'm looking at the problem it solves, as Ali pointed out, great point. And then we're looking at technically what have the company built to be able to solve that problem, and is it a good fit? Do they actually align, because they're two sides of the same coin? What I'd say around what you're going to be doing tonight in terms of designing the product is be thinking about the problem it solves, but also keep thinking, could we make it simpler? Could we make it easier for the user? Because people's attention spans, especially mine, are so short these days. Of anything you can do to remove that friction and do things in a like simpler or maybe just more fun, more enjoyable ways. So really kind of, hate the term think outside the box, but kind of like challenge yourself to think of like some different ways to solve a problem.
Hello, so I'm Chloe. I work for Dab Apps, as you've probably gathered. I actually have a background in fashion. I used to work in the fashion industry as a designer, and I moved into tech in about 2019. At Dab Apps, I do a split role, so I'm half project management, half product designer. We work with clients who want to build apps from scratch, so completely new apps, and then we also have a lot of clients who we work with on an ongoing basis to continue developing their apps, adding new features. So I can be involved from the very early stages, gathering requirements and working with the client to spec out what the product will look like, right the way through to working with them on an ongoing basis, doing all the project management stuff to do with ensuring it's delivered sort of on time and in budget. And then on the design side, I also do a lot of the doing the wireframes, research, high fidelity designs. So it's quite a varied role, I would say. And in terms of the task for tonight, I mean, it's always difficult going last for a question like this, but I would say I would definitely agree with what you said about keeping it simple. And I think thinking about MVP or minimal viable product, what features can you remove that you don't need to be part of that first iteration? So like, what is the core functionality that you want to offer your customer to keep it as slick as possible and as clean as possible, and also to lead the user through the experience, so to make it really clear to them where they need to interact with the product. And the other thing I would just say is sometimes I think it can be really overwhelming to start with everything at once and to be thinking of everything at once. So it can be helpful to go through it in a series of stages. So like, first of all, you start just with the sort of the skeleton and the architecture, and then you start adding these other things on, one thing at a time, basically.
Thank you, guys. So some really good little tips for everyone here. So we're going to introduce this little challenge in a minute. And the way it's going to work is that you guys are going to have 5 sessions. So we'll tell you what they're going to be, 10 minutes each. And you're going to get to sit with each of the guys from the panel in one of those sessions, so that you can really like get in their heads, think about what you're doing, get their advice, talk to them. But obviously we want you to come up with some really cool stuff in between. So I will move on to where we're going with this. So Pete's the teacher. Pete, do you want to set the brief, set the challenge for everyone?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, if you move on the slide, we've got a challenge. So the challenge that we'll be working today is, well, as it says on the slide, think of a digital product. So we are the creative team here, and between us, we need to try and think of a product that solves a problem for a target audience. So we need to not just think of a product, but think of who it's for, why they'd want it. We also need to think of the business case. So we need to think about how it's going to make money, essentially. So that's our main aim. And we're going to break this, what we're thinking about, we're going to break it down, as Dan said, into 5 separate sections. So we've got a structure in which we're going to do this step by step. I can't read what that says from here. I think that's everything on that slide.
Think about your customers, what the problem is.
Yeah.
How your product will solve this problem.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we'll go through these step by step to show you everything that we want you to think about. Right, we've got some ideas. So these are the terrible ideas that Dan and I came up with, which you will very clearly think of better ideas. So Dan came up with the first one, which is reselling limited edition trainers, which is actually quite a good idea. And then I took over and came up with some really bad ideas. So petsovernight.com. If you want a pet, have one delivered. Haven't quite worked out the business case for this, or the design for it, but that's what we're here for. The next one. Now, I don't know if the people on the panel spotted this as we were looking out. It was the perfect example of this, but you're all facing the wrong way. But 5 minutes ago, while we were introducing ourselves, did you see someone in a wheelchair just came past with LED lights on the front of the wheel? Did you see that? But did anyone see? Did anyone but me see this? Because this definitely happened 5 minutes ago. Right. No, it's true. So, Pimp My Mobility Scooter. Basically, if I was 18 and I needed a wheelchair or a mobility scooter, I want those wheels that I just saw 5 minutes ago. I think that's such a brilliant idea. Because it's my idea. I want fire coming out of it. I don't want fire on the sides. I want fire coming out of it. So if anyone wants to take that idea, you're welcome. That's one of your ideas. A social network for dogs. That I think that speaks for itself. Rate my shopping trolley experience. You come up with these ideas. It doesn't matter what it is, but something fun, something interesting, something creative, essentially. And then, so the next step will be thinking about what that product is. What's it called? It's got to have a catchy name so that people remember it. What will it do? What problem is it solving? And at times like this is where the advice that, Ali was saying about really focus on it. And Pete was saying, you got to make it as simple as possible. So really focus down on the core aspects of what this thing is so that we know that it's going to work and it's going to make money. We need to think about exactly who our customer is and how it's going to make money. And then once we've done that, you can see that we've all got these big pieces of paper in front of us. So we're going to actually design the homepage, just draw boxes and say, well, we'll have a big image here and we'll have some text here and so on. We're going to do a sitemap and we'll talk about what a sitemap is in 2 seconds. And then right at the end, because we're going to have a couple of groups, we'll all present back our ideas to each other and, try and sell this to the dragons to see who we're going to invest in.
Look how happy these men are. You're going to be as happy as well.
Exactly. So just mentioned a sitemap. A sitemap is, if you go to the next slide, a sitemap is as simple as this. So, what are the pages that the website will have? And we've only got an hour, so we're not going to be able to go into too much detail here. But it's just this idea of really trying to break down a little bit more about the concepts of, okay, what will we have on this site, essentially? What's the content that we'll have and functionality? Next slide, then. I think this is a summary slide now. Yeah. So these are our sessions. We can leave this on because we'll go through these one by one as a group, but we can, I guess, leave this slide up to so that we know what we're going to do next.
Thank you, Pete. Someone have any questions? There will be plenty of time to sort of talk through it. Does it make sense what we're asking you to do? Brilliant. Okay, so now the first session, what I'd like you to do now, we need people to volunteer who don't mind being on our webcast. Who would be up for being in the group that's on the webcast? I need one of you. Can I have 4 people take that table over there, and you're going to be on our webcast? And I think we can probably do this in 2 groups. You think? Yeah, 2 groups. So one group of 4, one group of 5. Yeah. So, oh, you guys. Okay. All right. That's fine. 2 groups of 5, even better. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Ali, do you want to kick off the crazy 8? On the web? Yeah. Okay. On the TV. You're on the TV. Yeah. Okay. Oh, everyone needs their own bit of paper. Okay. All right. No, I think. Yeah, I think everyone do the group. You introduce it. Yeah. Okay. Ali's going to introduce the next section.
Okay, So we're going to kick it off with an exercise called Crazy Eights. If anybody has been part of any kind of design sprint or read about them, then this is often used in those. The idea is that it's an 8-minute exercise broken into minute chunks, and you are getting out as many ideas as you can from your brain into that. So you've got 1 minute to look at an idea, come up with it, then move on to the next one, then move on to the next one. So it doesn't have to be all of the things that we've talked about you don't have to have the answers to all of the questions. You're not fulfilling the rest of the exercise in 1 minute. But often you can, when you're first starting off with a blank page, you can get a bit stuck with a kind of, I've got to think about it all and I don't know what to get out. This is just breaking that. So you're getting out as much as you can from your brain. And maybe the first idea you write down is the best one that you want to go with, or maybe the last one is. But it's an exercise to just keep those churning and put a little bit of time pressure on it so that you don't get bogged down in the details before you've actually figured out what the thing is that you're going to build. So that is the idea. And you can do it as a group. So you've got a piece of paper. If you want to do it, you can fold or draw kind of a grid of 8 on a piece of paper. And then it's a minute per box of the grid that you're just throwing stuff into. So as you're doing it in a group, maybe you want someone to be a scribe. So you're not all fighting over the piece of paper and the pen. And then we'll work through it. So we'll give you a shout at every minute, and then you move on to the next box in the grid. Does that make sense? Has anyone got any questions? Everyone happy?
I've got a stopwatch on the screen.
Cool. That makes sense.
I think so. Is everyone happy with what they need to do? Right, I'll give you a minute to get yourself set and then we'll go for it. Pete, tell me when you're ready. Right, okay. 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 All right. Everyone good? Right, we're starting the 8 minutes. Go.
Okay, folks. Eight ideas. Oh, is it on? I have no idea. Oh, I see. Just do one word ideas for next weekend. Let's just aim to fill up. Or have we got to say 1 minute? Oh, 1 minute sport. Okay, animals. Right.
Do you have an idea about?
Like conservation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good one.
Sorry, at the end, you're going to pick one of these to take forward. Sorry.
Sorry, the speaker. Hold a mic. It won't come through the speaker.
Aquarium. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Aquarium.
On to the next idea. That's a minute.
Jobs. Job site.
Any particular sort of jobs?
Or tech jobs. Design, yeah. UX, obviously. UI. Yeah. Like funneled feedback, like if I don't know, it just popped into my head. So I was like if you've signed up for a job and then like you had an interview and then it will like give you like yeah, and like like what's your feedback on it?
Your kind of status.
Yeah, like you know when you've like signed up for an event and then it tells you about feedback, but do that for like a job site on an app kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of a website where compatible products are associated with each other. So for example, if I have a pen and my pen has run out of ink and I want to buy a refill for that pen, I can put in the name of the pen, the design of the pen, and the associated correct
Oh, that is very good.
Product for filling.
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah.
refills,
Yeah.
whatever. And these can be, there can be some sort of algorithm to figure out these pairings, but also we can get people to submit them and perhaps give them little discounts if they find a product and a product link, and we profit through affiliate links.
I've got UGC for user-generated content here.
Okay.
Just because there wasn't enough space
Right.
to write.
You write affiliate links?
Yeah.
Okay, something that I really like doing is running community groups. So something
Yeah.
with a forum, where you get people to really communicate with each other in a slightly different way than they currently do on forums. So better than Facebook.
Kind of nice.
It's got to be nice, yeah. WhatsApp is great, but it can degenerate into people being abusive to each other. Just a different way of doing a forum.
Also, I'll
Put the
say
word
the
forum.
next one.
Yeah. We could call it something different though, not forum. Probably.
And then like community groups, and then they can get involved in different projects in the community, and like that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, and
then
face to face, like live stuff, as well as online. Live and online.
So my one was going to be like sustainable fashion, but it work in the same way as yours, where you can find like sustainable fashion, clothes. Literally have it as the same content. I didn't mean to steal it. Upcycling, and then you can like you say, local dressmakers, they can put themselves on there, have it like a gum tree, but like
I want to add upcycling fabrics because that's the thing I really am trying to do.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And then tailors, like local tailors, stuff like that. Like any like sustainable fashion events as well, like related things, initiatives. Yeah.
You can see why they call it Crazy Eight.
I would like some sort of visualization of mathematical or design or kind of logical I don't know, some sort of like flow chart kind of design where you can drag and drop components to try and demonstrate a difficult to understand topic.
Yes.
But the problem is thinking of what topic to requires a visualization that hasn't already been done.
Could it be data visualization? So if you think of all the data we're presented with, stats and scientific research and everything else, people are suspicious of it or find it hard to understand. So if you've got, whether it's big global events or whether it's statistical data or something, you've got a way to visualize that. I've seen a data scientist make art out of their data stuff.
I'm really into videos, and I'd love to do stuff like talk about physics, but in a really fun way, so that people understand it. I used to do a kind of science project with kids involving drama. So
so taking that data and putting it into a different medium so that it's easy to understand.
Can be like used and sold to like actual news outlets that want to like present like ethical and correct news that isn't.
Next one.
That's a thing.
Oh, I almost applied for a job like that recently. I wasn't brave enough to do news, but as a newspaper or as a, what would be different about it?
Just thinking about like outlets could buy the data.
1 minute. Your final idea.
Are we on the last one? Oh, shit. Sorry, they've slept about
Anyone sitting on an idea? Very last idea.
Come on. What's one thing that everybody really likes? Food. Good. Yeah, we all need food.
So
favorite food?
Yeah, local restaurants.
All right, 30 seconds.
Local like content creators.
I'm really into gluten-free, and nobody else seems to. They don't cater for gluten-free.
What about I don't know what to make for dinner, and I've got a lump of cheese and an egg in the fridge.
That's great.
Help me figure out what delicious thing I can make.
For Sainsbury's years ago, which did
Was that?
Sainsbury's Food Rescue? Yeah.
Oh, I love
But
it.
what if we? Oh no, but this has to be done already on apps or something. I was thinking some sort of image segmentation, which would
Four,
yes,
three,
image
two,
segmentation to
one.
infer the ingredients.
Put your pens down. Right. You should all have all had your 8 ideas now. I know. Everybody stop. Right. Bear with. Okay, everyone, we need to now, we've got 2 minutes, okay? We need to think about which idea we are going to take forward into our design phase, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So take 1 minute just to have a chat amongst yourself and vote, fight, whatever you're going to do about which one you're going to take forward. And you've got some brilliant ideas there. So can you tell me which one you can take forward, and then just give me another one for fun, which you wish you could do, but is completely impractical and not be made. Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. Don't ruin it.
That
Okay.
isn't right.
One that we're going to take forward, and then
Yeah.
one that we'd love to do that we're not.
Okay.
So
Should we do votes or something? Should we like mark each one like with our favorite, or is that a diplomatic way to do it?
Someone has a particular favourite, they can kind of describe why.
Okay. But so we don't influence each other. If you just put a star next to your favorite, your 2 favorites, maybe. How about that? So everyone take a pen. You've got that one. Take a pen. Sorry. Yep.
Obviously everyone has their own idea for how to pick them. My only worry for a lot of these is I wonder if they've been done.
Okay, I think we should not worry about that,
Don't
or
worry
we will
about
never
that?
do
Okay.
anything. If we just all put stars on 2 of them, some of them will match up, I'm pretty sure. And we shouldn't take too long. Don't overthink, just so what is
the
my
other thing
favourite
I'd say is it could be that we take a combo of them. So just because it's in a box now, it might be that there's a connection between 2 of the things, and you mesh them together. So yeah, whack the votes on, and then we can see where it lands.
Yeah, 2, and then I think we'll have to choose. Okay. Okay, interesting. Do you want to star your favorite? Oh, okay.
Need to have their final decision on which one you're taking forward into the design phase. So we'll start with Ali and Pete's table over here. Oh, okay. Oh, you. Oh, hold on. Maybe we shouldn't. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So change of plan. You're not going to tell me which one you've made. You're not going to tell the room anyway, but you are going to decide on your table. But we're not going to announce it until the end because that will spoil the fun. Okay. Now, everyone's sort of getting their ideas together, but we're going to actually do a swap-a-roo of the industry professionals panel so that everyone gets to speak to them. So whilst we do this, we're going to move into our next session, which is going to be refining the idea. What is the product? What problem does it solve? What is it called? Okay. So you want to kind of just dig deeper into that. What's its name? What problem is it really solving? Let's be honest. And what is it called? Okay. So if we can all move around to another table that we haven't been to yet, please. You'll get to each table more than once. Come round. We're going to have 10 minutes on this session.
Are we still talking with the mic? I guess we are. Yes, we are. Okay, so we thought that there are some links between this one to do with sustainable fashion and compatible products and linking them together, which there definitely are, because I've thought about this before. Yeah.
Whole sustainability app.
Well, I'd thought about doing like subscriber boxes where people state their preferences with like secondhand fashion, and then you supply it to them. But it could be anything. It doesn't have to be fashion. It could be anything. I don't know how you were thinking of that one.
I think so. I don't mind which one we go with. The reason when I was suggesting this, I suggested it with such a scope, is because I think it's a simple solution to a simple product with a very straightforward monetization strategy. This one, I'm not sure how it distinguishes itself. It does a lot of things, and that can be okay. But I also feel this may be a bit saturated. And I'm also not sure how well, no, I do see how we monetize it. It's different though. I don't think they're that similar. I think you should pick one.
What are the problems?
This one, well, I'll explain this one.
Yeah, okay, explain
This one is if you have a product, let's say like a pen, and you need to buy a refill, it can be hard to find the refill, right? The exact correct refill. So you specify which product you have, and then this website will show you compatible products along with purchase links. Now, there can be some algorithms to figure out those automatically, but you can also incentivize users to supply working links with a discount to the item if they supply a link, and we monetize through affiliate links, basically. And then obviously there's all sorts of other things you can do, but I mean, that's the core of it. And then I think you guys should explain this because I don't fully understand all of it. There's quite a lot.
Okay, I mean, I've been heavily into the sustainable fashion and upcycling for ages. Like I have an eBay store, and I started making a website as well, specifically for this. And I was talking just now about subscription boxes, which you could do for any product. It doesn't have to be fashion, but it's quite a thing now to get subscribers and memberships and linked into your product or your brand or whatever, so that people keep coming back and getting something else. So I'm quite interested in the models, how you do it without worrying too much what the product is. I guess I'm not like totally on board with the pens thing because I don't use them. So I'm finding this easier to buy into only because I know it. I mean, it doesn't mean it's not a good idea. It's just that I don't know. I like this too.
I like both of them personally, but I feel like the ideas for both can work in both areas as well.
Can I ask a couple of questions about them?
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of questions about them. So this one, I've got one for each. This one, how would you deal with fitting? So like if you've got a subscription box, obviously when you get clothes that you bought online, sometimes they fit, sometimes they don't. Logistically, would you not have a nightmare with people sending stuff back and forth?
Would have them whilst they're signing up, as one of the questions, would have them to have their measurements and like their sizing before, like as part of like when they're signing up. Obviously it won't be long because people don't like doing things that are very long, but as part of that would have their, at least ask for their sizes.
Yeah, I think measurement is really keen. So like with my store, I put very detailed measurements on every single item, so I hardly ever get returns. I think the idea of getting them to provide the measurements and how you measure is a really, really good one. But again, that can work with any product. It's just like the more information you have about your customers, that's like personalized to them, although it makes your whole onboarding process maybe take longer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think these problems can all be solved, but the fact that the problems exist and that we need to come up with solutions to, for example, fitting, for example, logistics, just feels like it would be more of a hassle to manage this business.
Well, I guess, is it helpful to think like if we really nail down what is the problem it's solving? So why the subscription box and who the customer is for both of these as well. Because well, we've got to get really clear on what problem is it solving and who is the customer. So I think maybe we can see if we can really clearly identify that for these. And if we can't clearly identify it, maybe that tells us our answer then. Yeah. So who?
I think we have our hands full just deciding between these two.
I don't know. I can think about multiple things at once.
Well, for this one then, because we haven't gone, what problem is it solving and who is the customer?
So it's solving the problem that when you have a certain product, there are only certain other products that are compatible. One very simple example is that a pen will only take certain size refills. Another example is that certain motherboards support different CPUs, right? So all sorts of this kind of thing where it's a lot of hassle for a user to have to research exactly what they need and then go to a website and take the risk of what if I ordered it wrong. So this saves them time and in some cases can save them money because we incentivize people to submit working combinations with discounts or other things. But that's the core problem. There's just too many. It's too hard to figure out what goes with what these days.
Okay. My feeling is it's an okay idea, but there are so many different things that go together. So how do you present that on one website? Like I'm thinking about ink. Like I have an ink subscription service, and they provide me with new ink when I'm about to run out. They monitor my print levels somehow. I think that's fantastic. I think maybe it's just the pens are not doing it.
I'm just trying to think outside of pens and like think that you would filter it with different products and then it would come up with different things with the filter on the website, and you would type and also the like SEO on the website would be really good. If you typed in something, it would come up straight away with it, or like it would correct what you would say to what it would do, and it would have like AI SEO in that way. So that would be really good. I think that would solve that problem, and then it would be like really intuitive. I think.
I'm feeling like this is done already. Okay, because like if I need I'm just going to say two more things about other products. Like if I want a new water filter, I just buy the filters from Amazon and they will deliver them to me. If I want to buy a charger for my phone, I just order it from Samsung. I'm not seeing it as a problem.
This site is not selling it.
Right.
This site is telling you you have a water jug and you want to buy a new filter, but which filter do I buy?
Oh, I know though, because I searched up the type of jug and then it told me online what to buy. So I'm not seeing it as enough of a problem. Yeah. This isn't a problem either, to be honest. In fact, are any of them actually a problem? I'm not sure. We might have just got excited about lots of things without actually identifying any problems at all.
Well, this one could be a problem, surely, because like there's subscription boxes out there. So why do people have subscription boxes? It's for convenience, isn't it?
Could we just go with?
You're gonna go with that one. Yeah. You're also going. I guess the question
I'm finding
is,
this very awkward.
do
I'm
you
going to be honest.
feel you could get behind it in terms of?
I'm a marketing person. I can get behind anything. I'm not convinced. You guys are going to have to convince me, and then I'll get behind it.
Okay, you've got about half a minute to convince.
I'm going to be your dragon's den, right?
This is what's convincing about this product. It's easy to manage. The business is easy to run. It's largely self-sustaining, and it's the simple problem without a lot of roadblocks. And it is definitely an issue where compatible products are hard to find sometimes, because I had the exact problem last night.
I've also had this problem recently.
I have this problem a lot as well, especially when I'm trying to refill or replace something, and then it's hard to find, and then you have to like faff and like go through like 10 different websites to compare the prices, and also it would be like compare the market but with like products or like
Right, 10 seconds. You need to have refined your idea. You need to know what problem you're solving and what your product is called. Right, time's up.
As
Time's
long as
up.
the
Time's
SEO
up.
is really good
Time's up.
for that.
Step. Yeah. Right. Right, can my industry panel please stand up? Please stand up. Please. And everyone move round one table, please. If you haven't made a decision on your product, you need to do it now.
I changed my mind like halfway through, and I was like, hold on. No, yeah.
We literally I just picked an idea. Did you spend the last time?
I asked these guys to sell it to me because I wasn't totally on board with it. They've done really well, like pitching it. So
Right, you've got 10 minutes now. You need to identify your target audience and your business model. Okay, so how is this going to make money? Who are you going to sell it to, and why are they going to buy it off you? Okay, you need to be really clear on this. You got 10 minutes, and then we're going to move into actually designing your product. So everyone who was talking around the edges needs to make their decisions and start going now. So you got 10 minutes.
There's a classic problem that people have is that when they have a certain product, the example I gave was a pen, and they need some sort of refill or compatible other thing, it's really annoying. It can be really annoying to Google and try to find the compatible product and to buy it and hope that it actually fits.
Okay.
So we want to make a website where you input some sort of product.
Okay.
And it gives you the compatible common products that go with it.
Okay.
For example, the right refill for the right pen.
Okay.
So that's what the problem solves.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
nice.
it, isn't it?
And then it can be used for like multiple different products, and and like when you start searching it, if you like misspell it, it would be intuitive AI and like optimized SEO and all that.
I like the idea so far. Can you give me a few examples?
yes, I was just going to say we need some
brilliant.
more examples
Yeah.
because
What have we got so far?
we've got a pen and a refill,
So refill pens,
water jug and the filter,
water refills,
phone and charger.
phones and chargers. Yeah, brilliant.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
So
Another thing
it's all
is
about
like
replacement
a
parts.
sewing machine and bits for the sewing machine because I've had to do that.
Computer parts are a big one because only certain
yes, they
computer
are.
parts
Yeah,
are
my flatmates have this
are
problem.
compatible.
Yeah.
So
Computer.
this is
Car,
slightly
car.
unconscious of two things. One is that we're going into the next bit. So
Okay.
I think what we've done. Sorry, what we've done is we've nailed what the product is and the problem it solves. It would be good to have a think about what it's called. It doesn't have to be catchy, but it'd be fun if we can come up with something. So something along the lines of, this is refill, right? So it's something refill related, some sort of
I
pun.
don't think refill is the right word because it's not.
Yeah,
right.
or
But,
components.
Re something.
Yeah, re something.
As in like friend. I just wanted alliteration in there somewhere.
You've got to think about what people are searching for, though.
Yeah, well,
So,
it's a
How about compartable, like compatible but with parts?
yeah,
Compartable.
No, that's better than mine. Yeah.
Partible or able? Compatible. You could do like, I'm designing.
Yeah.
We can have a
Perfect.
actual part.
Perfect. So
Yes.
So then the next bit, the bit that we're focusing on for the next 7.5 minutes is target audience and business model. So I think target audience probably speaks for itself. You've got quite a wide. If you think of some of the examples we had before, and probably some of the examples that you had here, that had quite a niche target audience that you'd have to define quite clearly. And my assumption is that we've got quite a broad target audience because because you've got such a wide range of areas that you can cover. It might be that you're effectively trying to be the Amazon of the replacement parts market, and it might be worth.
Oh, I like that.
It might be worth, at least initially. It might be worth sort of saying that is our phase 2 business model, but the phase 1 business model, the MVP to get started, would be to pick 1 or 2 of these and specialize.
That I tried to refill is actually really hard to find refills for, and I always forget which shops they're in. So I'm with you.
Something interesting about pens specifically is that a lot of, for example, phones might use USB-C or might use the micro USB, and there's not that many different options. But every pen company has a different.
Yeah, they do.
Refill. So Target, you're right. Well, I mean,
yes,
it
we
could
have
be.
agreed.
I think it's
fun.
really everyone, but I think if we want to narrow the idea, we can think of one specific one. Yeah. I'm not sure. Well, people who buy replacement parts online. Yeah.
Well, we could say people who are more interested in the circular economy and reduce, reuse, recycle. The whole point being that a lot of people are, the consumer age, that they are willing to just throw things away. This is really good because we're going to be designing.
I'm just making a little
Yeah, because we're going to be. Bear in mind that the next step after this is to design the home base.
That's just make the logo there.
So yeah, go on.
You know how the Amazon logo is one arrow?
Yeah.
Just the same thing, but like
Design something. I'll think about who we're going to sell.
Was that the idea?
We're going to get
great.
it to them.
Sorry, would have the letters in the middle.
This is really good. It's technically a little bit of the next one where we start designing,
I'm
but
just
but
getting
it's perfect.
excited now.
It's perfectly acceptable to.
Targeting is really important because it's no good having this great idea if you don't know who you're going to sell it to.
Yeah.
All right, so you need to pitch me on that.
I think who you decide, who your target audience exactly is, depends on exactly what you decide to put on the site. I think once you decide what you want to sell, it's clear. But more generally, we've already got it, haven't we? It's people who want to, the kind of people who like to repair their stuff instead of buying new stuff.
Let me be more clear. Like, think about how somebody is going to search up something. Like, you're looking for your refill. I was looking for my water jug filter. You mentioned cars and parts. Like, what is the process of actually trying to find out what you want, and then think who those people are? And sometimes it's actually good to have 2 or 3 people in mind. Like, because when you're promoting, you've got to kind of promote to a sort of vision of a person. If I don't go into the whole marketing strategy stuff here, but it's kind of,
you're talking about kind of user stories and having a persona of a. So we're designing. This is Steve. He's 27. He was given a Parker pen for his birthday 2 years
and that
ago.
also helps with targeting if you're going to do paid ads and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you can target people in, like, areas,
Just for a second, we also.
Sorry.
Oh, go on.
I definitely would say the pen and the water jug. I would definitely go for like the most popular ones.
Okay.
And then get the persona from that.
Also likely to be people with a disposable income, because if you can't afford to buy the water filters, you won't have a water jug unless someone gave it to you.
These are lower cost, so they're fast moving goods because there'll be a lot of them going through the shop, as opposed to something like car parts, which might be more expensive, so you would sell fewer of them. So in terms of our business
that's kind
model,
of business model is.
we've got 3 minutes left.
The car parts are a completely different market to the rest of them. So that maybe would be like a separate part of the website. Like, you would have that as like a maybe like a sister site or something, because it's so different and the market is so different compared to the rest
I
of
would
them.
be fine just limiting us to car parts.
Yeah.
It could be, or limiting us to pens or whatever.
Yeah.
For the MVP.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not talking. we're not talking kind of 5 years time or 10 years time. This is to get established in the market, essentially. So the business model. This is the bit about the business model is just thinking a little bit about. Are we doing high volume, low price, or low volume, high price? and that will help decide on, because that's, you know, if you're selling high volume, low price, you'll market it differently to if you're only going to sell a few of these things, but every time you sell one, you make a considerable amount of money.
To me, it all feels quite niche, actually. So I can't see it being high volume. But
Sure. I think I want to clarify here, though, that we are not selling the parts. That's what makes this a very simple business to run. All our site does is it connects people from one with payment links to, for example, an Amazon shop, and Amazon sells the part, and
so
we
don't
make
have the
money through
product.
affiliate
Okay.
links. That's why it's so broad, because it's effortless to manage.
Okay.
We have no inventory. We have no logistics. It's easy.
Interesting.
Okay, I'd forgotten that you said that before. Yeah.
So that's why
Yeah,
I feel like the target audience is literally everyone.
Right.
Because even the combinations, even the thing that we're selling
Okay.
is given to us by users. If
Okay.
somebody gives us a good combination that works, we give them a discount.
Okay.
Right.
So I can also see now that we can link this to video promotion, because obviously people are doing affiliate links, and that's a different way of doing it from just like one product. Yeah. Okay.
I think we're in a good place. I think we're ready to move on in 30 seconds. And what we're going to
30 seconds left.
Sort of designing a typical page, essentially. So we'll turn one of these bits of paper over and draw like what a page might look like.
Okay.
But yeah, good. I'm very impressed how quickly you came up with something really useful. It is honestly. This is what it's like. Though. Just sort of, who's it for? Why are we doing this? What are they going to get out of it?
Yeah, I normally spend a lot longer thinking about stuff, so this is quite.
Right. Well, I enjoyed that.
tough,
I'm moving on now, I'm afraid. But I look forward to seeing what you come up with.
Right, we're done. We're done on our ideaing. Ideaing is over now. There's no more ideas. This is doing. We need to design things. Right, we're going to have to move the industry panel around one. We've got two more sessions. So one of them, this is the key one, absolute key one to showing everyone why your product is going to be amazing and it's going to make you a multi-billionaire or whatever. And it's going to change the world. So you need to think about all those design things that they were saying at the top about keep it simple, about make it usable, about delivering your product to your customer, okay? So you got 10 minutes and then you're going to have to start thinking about your pitch. So there you go, 10 minutes, get designing, go.
So we're actually doing some wireframes here. That's exciting.
Was it a website or an app?
Oh, I would like. It
Why
would
don't
be
you make
great
it
to
a
have an
web app?
integrate.
Then it
Yeah,
can be both.
yeah, a web app plus video. I really want to do video because it's the affiliate links and short form reels. So we have a video on the front page that draws you in, but it changes. It will change. Yes.
Ended up going with the spare parts, the compatible
Just
parts
draw a
with the affiliate links.
rectangle for the page or something. Or maybe it's scrolling. Something might be scrolling. I don't know.
I'm trying to think what the easiest to use.
Do you want to do the homepage first, or do you want to do the sitemap first?
Oh,
We need
I
both
usually think of
things.
a homepage first, but
Okay.
with all the stuff at the top.
Yeah. That's
Talk us through what you've just drawn.
So, oh my god, thank you. What did I say again? I forgot.
Where are we?
So are we doing the screens first?
You
Or-
decide. You're drawing.
Okay.
How about that?
So for me, I feel like it's easier doing the homepage first because
I
then
think so too.
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
yeah, I'm thinking about the customer journey.
Yeah, because I'm visualizing a homepage.
What's
So
the first thing you want them to see when they land on the homepage?
a logo on one side and a content menu on the other, because it's normal, but Okay, so this is the logo. I'll just talk people through what you're drawing here, and let's have that. Okay, okay, and then we will need a menu, either as a burger menu or whatever. But you don't have to put actual things in it. Just blur or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I mean, it's very basic.
Were we not thinking of doing the recycling Amazon?
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. Well, we don't need to do the logo right now. Though we need to just. Okay.
But this is more about what goes into the homepage
Yeah.
rather than creating a beautiful sketch.
Yes. Yes. I would like a.
I'm interested in the set.
Yeah.
Kind of uses.
So what?
Okay, what is the first thing that people see? I would like them to see a video on the homepage, but it changes. So it's exciting and you get a different thing every time you go in, maybe.
So what's the video of?
Well, we're talking about affiliates links. So we're not selling anything on the site, from what I understand. But we are trying to encourage connections between one item and what goes with the item.
Sure, but what's the video for?
The video is because you sell a shitload more things or using reels, short reels, like
But
TikTok,
we don't know
Instagram,
what
whatever.
the person wants.
And you've got to get people to your site.
feel
You
like-
need to get people in.
I've done it.
So
Yeah.
I feel
So
like
cookies.
Yes.
And then you get the so you track what they like, and then you have it for their interests, and then it comes up
Perfect.
with the short form video that.
Yes.
So is the video of the thing that you're selling? 'Cause
Yeah.
how-
Well,
so
there,
you're
there
talking
are
about-
multiple things that are being sold.
But you're
This is your
talking-
idea, right? There are multiple things that are being sold. So you need to hook people into your site, but you also need to bring in traffic from somewhere. And
But if we're talking about a homepage here, do you know you need people to know what it is that you're doing? What is this
Yeah.
app? So it's otherwise they're going to land on your homepage and they're going to go, I don't know what this is. I can see a video of a thing, but I don't know what it is.
I think the at the point where the user is on your site, they've clicked the link from somewhere else, which is your advertising. They already know what you're doing, or they already know enough that it okay. Hear me out. Here's just my pitch for what should be on the homepage. The homepage should be a big search bar with a one sentence explanation of what you're searching for, like enter a product and get or get for compatible matches or something, and maybe just maybe you can put a few of the popular products below, right? But or categories on the top or something. But I really am just in favor of a big search bar, nice and simple. The user doesn't feel like they're being sold anything, but they are.
How are they going to look at that and know that it's not Google?
I mean, how are they going to get to your site, right?
It could be a
How did they-
sharing link. It could be a search result. It could be that somebody's directed it. I think assuming that people know what something is when they land on your site.
You can
Is-
say,
is
you
a
can say
big
tagline
assumption.
though, guys.
Right. Just a quick tagline though, because I don't want it to be very compartable. I don't even think the name of our thing matters.
I do. The thing is, you've got different types of users who buy stuff, and like we're all quite different in the way we're thinking. So some people will definitely respond well to a search thing. Absolutely. Some people will respond to a video. Like you cannot please everybody, but you do need a few like different ways of engaging.
I think you need to come back to what is it that you're trying to communicate? What do you want people to understand? And what action do you want them to take? And how are you going to get them to take that action?
What have we got here?
Have it is like our mission or whatever as part like coming from the tagline, and then it's all in one place and it's easy to navigate and you can see it on there. Not like don't overload people with copy, just have it like very short and sweet. I'll put down
I think it has to be very, very short, because if
Yeah.
I click on a website and I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
I'm giving it like 3 seconds before, like, to decide if I want it. So you just want one search bar so that it's clear what
Mhm.
the user's supposed to do next, and a one sentence tagline. And
Mhm.
if you can't tell people what they're there for in one sentence, they're not going to stay. If I open a website and there's a random video playing, I'm closing the website.
Yeah.
Again, it comes back to different types of users, because like if I'm looking for something like the filter for my water jug, I will literally research it for quite a long time because I like doing that. And so I appreciate that some people would like to come to one website and then they've got their answer, but I won't be satisfied with that. So I need some reviews on there as well, to sort of back up, oh, this is a legitimate site and I can get it at a reasonable.
I think
price
that trust aspect is really important. So I think you're all going after the same thing of you want people to come really quickly understand what it is,
Right,
where they are.
you got 2 minutes to draw your site map and get yourself ready, and then you've only got a couple of minutes to get ready for presentation. Okay.
Thanks. And then I think, did someone say reviews? Yeah.
So the thing with reviews is reviews are to know, for the customer to know if they can trust the product and who's actually selling the product.
Someone who, like, you've asked someone to give a testimony. It's better
Sure,
than
whether
reviews.
it's reviews or testimonies. But the thing is, we are not selling our own products. We're not even shipping the products. We're telling you, hey, you want something that's compatible with this? You can go to Amazon here to do it. Amazon already has their own trust. We don't need to build trust. Why is that a problem?
because I'll just go to Amazon because I don't know. Although I love the idea,
I
I
literally
won't.
linked you to Amazon.
Okay, all
You just
right.
click the
It's a
link and
little
then you go to
disconnect.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not going to be you're not going to be pressing buy on my site and then Amazon ships it to you. My site tells you, go to Amazon here, take this link, it'll take you to Amazon. You can buy it directly from them. And then we get the affiliate sale.
I think you've got a design decision with it, but on the one hand, it feels like an e-commerce store, but it isn't actually quite an e-commerce store because you're providing a kind of layer on top of that. And so there's a question. I'm not saying I've got the answer to it, of how many kind of standard e-commerce elements do you have and how much do you kind of break away from that and do something a bit different? Because if it was Amazon.
Right. Are you ready to present? You have 3 minutes now. 3 minutes, and I'm going to call on one of these tables to present. So you all better be ready.
Well, I suggest we do, so we don't get kind of too hung up on the individual elements. Shall we just do some kind of boxes of a user journey of like what the user would actually do? So we could just actually say, these are the steps they're going to go through. Because once you're happy with that, you could go back to each of the boxes and design the screen. But actually getting the whole, I think starting higher level was probably going to be a kind of more productive activity. Yeah. And the other interesting thing with this sort of thing, Ali will know this, but a common technique when we build actual websites, especially e-commerce ones, have you come across A/B testing? So when you don't know, you have multiple versions and you measure which ones convert best. So that's what you'd actually do in reality, rather than have an argument. You'd say. Yeah, we were like, let's put them both out there.
Yeah, the experimentation. So you start with something that you think is right, a hypothesis basically, and then you see what works, you see what doesn't, and then you tweak, and you can do it. As long as you can react quickly enough, then you can then quickly get to something that's really achieving the outcomes that you want.
It's surprising as well. I've had things when I'd be like, the free version, no one's going to click that, and it's like, can't really argue with the data when it kind of converts like 50% more. Should we do the boxes? Should we do the steps of the customer journey? So, would you mind grab me a beer?
Yeah, of course.
All right, it's crunch time now. We're going to present. Who wants to volunteer to go first? You, Pete, and team. So, for the sake of the webcast, could you please bring your ideas up here? Do you want to come up as a team? Okay. Right, Who's the presenter? Can you speak? Follow through the order on the.
Yeah, where am I going? Where am I going? Okay. Yes. Okay.
You've got 3 minutes to. Are you ready?
Okay, so hello and welcome to Dopamate, everyone. Dopamate is our task tracker targeted to productivity, but really getting down to simplifying your daily life using praise and compliments, basically. The idea is you've got stuff to do every day, need to do it, and all I really want as an older millennial is someone to compliment me and give me a sticker when I finish something well. I just want to know I did such a great job taking the bin out today. So that is what Dopamate does for you. You can make your lists in it. The idea is that in the free version of Dopamate, you can make a few types of lists, which is the budget, the home, the work, the school, and the people, because you got to incorporate your social life in there. You get in the free version a basic sticker pack that is great job, star, smiley face, etc. for doing your tasks, for checking them off the list. And then you also get praise and encouragement in the basic pack, which is just a regular pack of praise and encouragement. In the paid version, you can get different sticker packs depending on your interests and things that you find fun and encouraging, different cosmetic packs to see how it looks. Has anyone heard of Goblin Tools? Please tell me someone has heard of Goblin Tools. Am I just educating it? Okay. Goblin Tools is a thing that was made for neurodivergent people to say that I need to do X task today, and depending on how neurospicy you are, it would break down the task into steps. And basically, a paid version of Dopamate would also break your tasks down for you, just so that you don't have to do it yourself. And then you could choose praise voices to get into different kinds of praise. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble on. There's a lot of features to it. But moving on from this to the target audience, while this is a really broad product and it is meant for everyone and everybody should use it, at launch, we will be focusing on younger millennials and Gen Z just to get us started, because when you're getting out of graduation and getting into your first jobs, you really need someone to praise you. Moving on to the design, what we've got today is something that you should talk about.
Hello, everyone. Very, very quickly, because we don't have very long left. Here's our little design. As you can see, it's a very clean design. It's very nice. It's very fashionable. It's very modern. What do you... So initially you go into the freemium version, which gives you access to a bunch of those basic features, as you've just heard. It comes up with a nice, very easy sentence. It says, what do you need to do today? Very general. You can create general tasks in this lower section here. Thank you very much. And when you create your general task of what you need to do, you can then modulate it with one of our handy little sections over here, and you convert it into the task of your choosing. Dopamate, download it next week.
Well done, you.
Thank you, guys. Obviously, this is a very rushed, condensed version of what possibly might happen slightly in the real world. So I appreciate great name. You guys, can we have your 3-minute pitch to explain your product? Presentation skills.
you ready?
Okay, so we scratched our heads for quite a while and came up with. Oh yeah, can't help. We're multitasking here, holding mic and paper. Woof. So we basically came up with wasteaway.com, and we're kind of generating lots of nice ideas around the idea that there's loads of stuff out there, and the wrong stuff is in the wrong place at the wrong time. So, for example, loads of construction work going on, demolition creates a load of rubble, and somebody at the other side of the city, the other side of the country might want to use that rubble to, build paving or do something around their house. So obviously it's got a huge amount of environmental credential around it. It's the circular economy, helps in terms of creating a marketplace for both business to consumer. So maybe, the Guinness factory might have a whole bunch of byproduct. We talked about beer brewing as a key use case where, there's loads of barley and hops that's produced and other raw materials that come out of the brewing process that could then be used to make dog biscuits. So somebody wants to set up a business making, themed dog biscuits, might be able to use Waste Away to hook up as part of the marketplace and get the raw products they need, save costs, circular economy, et cetera, et cetera. So there's our very basic sitemap. And we're kind of thinking of it like a kind of Vinted for stuff, which isn't clothes and electronics. And it's, powered by AI, obviously. So why wouldn't it be? We're looking to raise money after all. And basically, so save the planet, your waste is my treasure. And it's basically just a search page with listings. So you put in, what are you offering? In this case, building rubble. Put in your building rubble, press go, and then you'll have an AI generated kind of relevancy score for projects or products, or basically the needy. So listings of the needy, and you're the offer. And the idea over time, it will train and learn to be able to match up the raw material to the project need. And there's also a facility here around community, because we envisage as well over time that people will agglomerate around that. The same people are producing the same kind of stuff, needing it, so it can build the communities which have economies of scale. So it's basically two revenue streams we came up with. So it would be a transaction-based model when it's the consumer-to-consumer piece, so just a small shaving off the top like Vinted, but also a premium version when it's business-to-business, larger volumes. So a premium version that way is annual subscription, big money. And that's it.
Well, guys. Final pitch.
Thank you very much. So, here. So, which camera? That camera? Okay, okay. Oh my God, this is so difficult. Here? We good? We good? We good? All right, so last night, my pen ran out of ink, and I wanted to get a refill. So I spent a non-trivial amount of time Googling, checking Amazon, whatever, and I finally found a cartridge that was supposed to work with my pen. And I bought it, and it's arriving on Saturday, and until it arrives on Saturday, I have no idea if it's gonna work. And this problem arises in more than just pens. It arises in a lot of different products these days where there's limited compatibility, right? So like car parts, like computer parts, like what else do we have? Water jugs, phones and chargers. It's a very common problem. So we want to launch a website called Compartable. And this website, when you go to this website, you enter in the search bar or some other fashion, what kind of product you currently own. And the website will give you a list of compatible products and places that you can buy it from. right? Links to existing stores. Now, critically, we do not sell anything ourselves. And that means we have no stock, we have no logistics, and we scale infinitely. So no risk, right? Instead, what we do is we connect customers to the stores that are selling the things that they want, and we profit off affiliate links. And that's more or less the idea, unless you two have something to add. We didn't really decide on the.
Oh yeah, that was fun. So I thought of having the C and P together as the main parts of the the brand. the main part of the brand, and then I did the C and then the P as part of the C, so it'd be coming out of it, and like obviously you're getting things that are refillable, so it's coming out of that. And also we thought of the Amazon logo, so then the whole circular economy thing, and then having the arrows saying that it's always going to go round and round and round, and then the C and P was like an offshot of that as part of the logo. But yeah, I've been designing logos recently, so brain's active.
The only other thing is that we wanted to link it into the current trend for short reels, particularly on TikTok and YouTube now, and drive traffic to the site in that way. And obviously a lot of affiliates are being sold in that kind of manner, so that all makes sense.
And also on our own social media, we will have those affiliate links with our UGC creators and such, and then those links will be live on those social media sites as well, and then there'll be lots of different ways of entering the website, and then we'll gain traffic that way too. So that was our idea.
Amazing. Thank you everyone for doing all that work and for thinking about your products. What I'd like is just, we've got 5 minutes. Can I just have my panelists back up to the front, please? So I'm reviewing my lesson planning and time planning around this entire thing. What would be great is just to get a little bit of feedback on the process that you saw happening, and just a few sort of lessons learned around the room and sort of what you heard about the products. Have to be fairly quick fire, a couple of minutes each.
So process, I think it was really great to see like real problems that were being solved, and people had a lot of problems. People came up with a lot of problems quite quickly, which is really nice because sometimes it's quite difficult to think of that stuff. It was nice to see people working as a team, because obviously in industry you have to work, like project managers have to work with engineers and loads of different personalities as well. Yeah, and sometimes it can be difficult. So that was nice to see, like discussions to find the way through woody moments.
Yeah, two things really stood out for me that I really enjoyed it, and I thought the ideas were brilliant, and I have already bought domain names, so just to warn you. I loved that at the start of that 8 minutes, when you thought, I've got to come up with 8 ideas in 8 minutes, you probably thought, I can't do this, my mind's gone blank. And towards the end of the 8 minutes, you had too many ideas. So actually, it's just having that freedom to be creative. The whole point of this is to don't think, oh, I'm not a creative person, or to sort of box yourself in. Just say that you heard our silly ideas. You could definitely come up with something better than that. So come up with silly ideas. And then sort of off the back of that, I really liked how at first, when we moved on and we started to pick one idea and scale it down, before we start scaling it down and identifying our MVP, it was, imagine that there's, time no object, money no object. Give us every idea. Get some Post-it notes and fill an entire wall of ideas, because once you've got those ideas, then you can start picking the ones that are magic. And so it was really spending a bit of time and really just spitballing, just saying ideas, and then someone will riff on that idea. I like that. It could do this. It could do that. And I think what everyone did was, in an incredibly short amount of time, not knowing each other and with a complete range of prior knowledge and skills, came up with some quite viable, fun, great ideas. So, well done, everyone.
What I will add is Pete's bought the domains to sell them to you later as a profit. He's not actually a nice guy. But yeah, I would build on that in that I think all of the ideas were really interesting, really engaging, and so different as well. Also, in the real world, you would get slightly longer to come up with these product ideas. That's one thing I'd flag. It's not quite as kind of like mental. Do it now. We've got a timer. actually, some companies are like that. Don't work for those ones. The other thing I'd add is it can be quite difficult to not get kind of like hung up on a particular decision. And the other thing will actually happen when you work in a company is no one actually knows what the right decision is. And it tends to be, especially in early stage startups, a lot more experimentation where you'll try a few different routes and you'll measure and then you'll pick the best one based on data. Whereas today we've been a bit like gun against your head, pick one. So, and you've all done very well. So.
Thank you. It's the gun against the head bit that got me. Yeah, so I think the ideas that everybody's come up with are fab. I think, not having walked in necessarily with I've got a great idea for an app and where you've landed with what you've presented, I think there's actual kernels of really good, viable businesses in there. So I think that's amazing. I think the process, I'd echo everything everybody's already said. I think I saw a couple of the teams come up with cool ways of being able to work through we've got 8 ideas, how do we get it down to 1? And like, we'll all put a mark on it, on the ones that we like. So I think that sort of collaboration and teamwork, like Chloe was saying, I think is really important. And coming up with ways to do it that mean it's not the loudest voice that wins, everybody's got a say in the decision. That was really cool to see that just spontaneously happened. And I completely echo what Pete said about in the real world and experimentation and everything else. One of the things that it took me a long time to learn in my product career was I was making lots of assumptions about users and what they would do and how they would behave, and most of the time I was wrong. So that experimentation, that get it out in the wild, see what happens, see how people actually respond to it, is the real way of doing it. And sometimes you've absolutely hit the nail on the head, and other times people will surprise you and it will be the thing that you hadn't predicted would be the winner is actually the way to go. So I think taking that and going, let's start with something, let's start with it small, use it as a hypothesis, and then let's test it and see what grows, is the way to go. So if anybody tries to tell you they have all of the answers up front, they don't. And that experimentation, that MVP is the way that it works in reality, and it's the way that gets you to the most successful outcome.
Cool. Thank you, everyone. We're pretty much out of time. Just from my side, it was great seeing everyone working through the process, and I'm fascinated by how people work together and how decisions are made and how collaboration happens and how communication and negotiation happens. And I saw that happening around all the tables in different ways. And I think that's at the heart of so many things that we try to teach, isn't it, in terms of sort of development and getting things done and how to, it's those soft skills. Yeah, so crucial. We hear that over and over and over again. So well done, everyone, for coming up with some great ideas and working through them. No, that wasn't difficult in a really short space of time. You sound slightly unnatural, but I hope there's some good learning in there about product and about designing a product. So thank you guys for your time. Thank you, Cameron and the team, for the AV, as always. And thank you to you guys for being a Tech Jumpstarters who make it every single time. We actually have the date of the next Tech Jumpstart before I've run this one, which is, I haven't done that before. So March the 13th is the next Tech Jumpstart. So, May. So close. May the 13th. It's called Cyber Secure This. Yeah, it's going to be about design. Yeah, so we've got cybersecurity people coming down to talk about a career in cyber and what that means. So yeah, hope to see you there for that one. And yeah, thank you, everyone. A big round of applause. Thank you for coming out tonight and making it great.